where best friends and next-door neighbors, Willow and Lillian, spill the tea on murder, mysteries, and other things that go bump in the night. So get your favorite teacup ready, and let's get into it. Welcome to Cruelty Podcast. This is Lillian. With me is Merris.
Hello.
Because it's Merris Monday.
Hello.
It's September.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah.
Y'all be careful. It's Labor Day weekend.
There were so many accidents here.
Oh, my God. Somebody flipped their whole car. It was scary.
Yeah.
So I've decided to make Merris Mondays all about ghosts and the afterlife this month.
Mm-hmm.
I don't usually do themes, but it's what I'm in the mood for. And we don't cover ghosts and shit very often.
No, but we covered it on reality.
Yes, our other podcast, Reality, where Merris talks about the reality television that we watch, and he makes me watch, and we covered Ghost Hunters.
Ghost Hunters Eureka Springs episode.
Yeah, so I will link that if I remember it, and I won't, so whatever.
Just go find it.
Just go find it. It's on Spotify.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we've cut a couple episodes over near-death experiences and a few ghost stories, and this is more of kind of like what I would call proof of the afterlife. I've made 7 points.
Okay, that's a lot of points, Professor.
Yes, indeed. But yeah, and I'm currently working on an EMT and first responder ghost stories, and there are so many really good ones. So I wanted to do a really good job on that episode. So I thought we'd have a little primer first.
Okay.
About the afterlife. So until next week, you can sink your morbid little toofies into this, tea bags.
Mm-hmm.
So every religion and culture has a story about the afterlife. Now, that doesn't make it true, of course, but I like to think where there's smoke, there's fire. Maybe individually they get some things wrong, but altogether you start seeing certain themes arising from the various narratives.
When there's smoke, there's me, 420.
Oh my God, Merris.
I just ruined it.
So we're going to go over a few cultures' visions of the afterlife, specifically the ancient Egyptians. Because I feel like, let's talk about this real quick.
Okay.
They made mummies, and everybody thinks that's silly. I know you do. You're sitting there going, oh, silly mummy makers, why? They thought that their ghost could come back into the mummy and, like, fuck chicks and eat, like, hot wings or something.
I don't know. They look really rad. Have you seen them?
They're rad as shit.
The mummies from the later Egyptian periods got really cool, like designs in their bandages.
Oh, listen, I think mummies are rad.
Yeah.
And Egypt isn't the only culture that did mummies, of course, but they're the only one that did them that way.
They're cool.
The Victorians also thought the mummies were so cool that they would grind them up and eat them.
That's not how you enjoy something. Like, you're not trying to get their powers, or
they were trying to get their powers. Like, they thought it was medicine.
Wow, no, that's how you get cholera. Something else gross.
Or at the very least, wild diarrhea.
An ancient Egyptian mummy curse disease is what you'd get.
Mummia was the name of this stuff. And they put it in drinks and food and paints and all. They were just mummying it up.
So fucking gross.
And of course, this is the British that started this shit.
Well,
Y'all need help.
Well, if their food already tastes like mummy juice, then,
Yeah, it's not good. And look, I've had British food, and don't come at me.
I've had it too. They put a lot of mayonnaise in everything for some reason.
I don't need that much lube on my food. Y'all calm down.
It's to cover up the taste of whatever it is.
Look, I know World War II was rough, and y'all got rationed out the ass, and it made a whole generation of you completely unable to cook. But for the love of fuck, it's over. You can eat other stuff.
Nah.
It doesn't always have to be curry from the
mummy
shop
juice
on the
and
corner.
Mummy paste.
We got a lot of people from England listening, and you know I'm going to give you a hard time.
Yeah, go eat some mummies for your tea time.
Put your crumpets in the mummia, you freak.
Yeah.
Anyway, we all think, like, Egyptian religion is silly. Because, like, everybody has an animal head and all that other stuff.
They're cool.
It's not silly, though. Their spiritual beliefs were so complex and so interesting and very similar to Christianity.
Oh.
Indeed. The story of Osiris and his son, Horus.
Yeah.
That's the Christ myth.
Okay.
Indeed. And, like, it's just really cool. And they had, like, their afterlife was a cool place. So they called it Aru, the Field of Reeds, and this was their afterlife. And it was like...
Do you think there's a lot of reeds there?
Yes.
Okay.
Aro was seen as the perfect version of Earth where you lived in absolute paradise forever. But you could only get to Aru if you passed a morality test.
What if my version of the afterlife of pure happiness didn't have one reed?
We're going to get into that in a minute,
Oh,
actually.
shit. Okay,
Yeah?
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, you're a piece of shit. I
Yeah.
don't know what's going on. Your soul would wait in a line to get into the hall of justice, where your life and deeds would be judged. That sounds like the DMV,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
but whatever. The jackal-headed god Anubis would weigh your heart against a feather of a goddess of justice.
Okay,
on
so
a
not
golden
just any
scale.
old feather.
No. If your heart was heavier than the feather, you were eaten by a crocodile hippopotamus god thing,
Oh, Jesus.
and you were obliterated.
Do you think that feather's heavy?
It's not it's the symbolicness of it all. That you are not supposed to be burdened with ill deeds in order to go on to paradise.
Okay.
If you were a giant piece of turd, then you got eaten by a crocodile hippo thing.
Yeah, I don't want that.
And when I say eaten, I mean you are absorbed and giving you your soul to it and its power forever. You were gone,
Jesus.
obliterated.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Hippos are dangerous.
And almost every religion today has the same story, just dressed in different clothes. In the Bible, you are brought before God, in some sects, St. Peter, and he looks through the book of life to see if your name is inside. And if it is, into heaven you go. If it's not, fuck you off to hell.
Well, good thing I have an A for a last name.
Yeah, you won't have to wait as long.
No, you're first in line.
And then right straight to hell you go.
No, I am good.
I mean, you're good, but you're not Christian good or Catholic good.
I have been baptized.
I know, but the Catholics would probably throw you out.
To the hippopotamus?
You are an abomination unto the Lord, Merris.
That's not usually what you call your husband.
I don't know. I think it's hot. So Catholics have a line to judgment, too, and it's called purgatory. Indigenous Americans saw it as a long road that you walk down, and that road to them was the Milky Way, which I thought was cool.
Whoa.
Many cultures have a waiting room, so to speak. The Greeks saw the soul crossing the river Styx. In all religions, just about, there is a holding area, a waiting room, or a road to walk down.
There's a river, yeah.
My God. And this is all before you finish your journey to your final destination, be it paradise, hell, or oblivion. Your deeds at the end of this wait are judged. And part of the waiting, at least with the ancient Egyptians, was it was stripping away your mortality.
Uh-huh.
Because you had several layers to your consciousness, according to the Egyptians.
All right.
You had your Ka and Ba,
Yeah.
and which were like, one of them was your spirit body, one of them's just your spirit, and the mummy is there to help be a physical representation of your body,
Okay.
so that your Ka or Ba, whichever one it is, can recognize what it used to look like in order to form itself.
Okay. So that's
So
the purpose of the mummy.
Yes, it's not stupid. Shut up, everyone.
Okay. Yeah.
There are exceptions, of course. Buddhism tells us that we are to shed attachments and such in this life, or we will be forced to reincarnate until we learn all of our lessons before we can be free of being born again to do this shit all over. And then we go to nirvana. And of course, Buddhism isn't the only religion to have reincarnation as a theme. Even Judaism has some, like Orthodox Jews do, accept that reincarnation is a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, Christianity and Islam are the two religions that absolutely do not accept reincarnation.
Okay.
But who has it right? And that's the big question. And I don't think most of us have the time to worry about something so inevitable and scary. Most of us don't think about it, but what if we did? Ever since I was little, this has bothered me. So I was like, I would say I was like 3 or 4, and I was watching a PBS show, and it was a show on evolution, which was very interesting to little aliens, and they showed a human skull. And I don't know why it struck me all of a sudden. I felt of my face, and I was like, shit, I'm full of a skeleton.
You got one in there.
But it also made me realize that I would die.
Oh, that sucks.
I wasn't too upset about it because I thought, well, there's science, and surely we'll just figure this shit out. No, little Lillian, we won't.
We never have.
But I think if we took it seriously, we could. I don't think it's supposed to be that mysterious.
Okay.
I really don't.
Yeah.
So it seemed important to me that science should perhaps look into this with all it has. You know, because if we die and we're just gone, then we should probably figure out how to not fucking die, right?
Mm-hmm.
That maybe they should work a little harder to give us the answer.
Yeah.
You cunts. What?
Right.
Why are we
right,
just
right.
accepting this as inevitable?
Uh-huh.
if there is no afterlife, then what the fuck are y'all doing? But there are pretty good, strong cases to be made for an afterlife. We're going to talk about those.
Okay.
And though this is no, like, I'm not going to, like, go down, like, I'm not going to get real specific with each one of them, but I just think it's pretty cool. So here we go. So is there any scientific evidence of life after death? And in short, yeah, kinda. Mainstream science like to see life beyond death as a joke, pseudoscience. But mainstream science says a lot of things I both agree and disagree with, and this is one. I don't think studying the afterlife is pseudoscience. It is if you call it that and then never take it seriously. But as I've pointed out on this podcast before, we did also used to think the earth is flat. Don't bring up flat earthers to me. Mm-hmm. They don't exist in my world. I refuse. So let's talk about what I mean by life after death. And I mean that your consciousness survives past the physical death of your body. So let's get to some scientific ponderings. And we're going to start with a man named Robert Bigelow.
Oh, dang.
CEO of Bigelow Aerospace and a Las Vegas billionaire real estate magnate. And we have talked about this utter clown shoes fuckface on this show before.
He loves UFOs.
And no, I don't like him, but he does throw money at interesting research like aliens. He was so big on aliens until about 6 years ago. But now he is laser focused on life after death.
Maybe because he's old. I don't know.
Well, I said like he knows something, or because his ass is getting old and he's sweating. Because he's been a cunt.
Yeah.
Either way. He offered over $1 million in an essay contest to anyone who could provide scientific evidence of life after death. I'll link the winning essay. It was fine. And it's not proof in and of itself. But I would like to note that I believe, as Bigelow clearly does, that there is some connection between UFOs, cryptids, weird shit, aliens, and the afterlife. Or rather, consciousness. And we'll circle back. So the first bit of evidence we'll look at is near-death experiences. It has been shown over and over that your consciousness is not only aware that you're dead, long past when the body shuts down, but that your consciousness is still active and aware after all brain activity has stopped. And this suggests that your consciousness is not connected to your brain or your body, but outside of it and tethered to it somehow. Mm-hmm. To me, the millions and millions of reports of near-death experiences which have been reported since people could report things provides pretty solid evidence that something is going on. I'm not going to provide the stories because I've said, I've covered a few of those before, but I don't buy that literally everyone is lying. Mm-hmm. And a lot of these, one of them that's my favorite is a woman dies, right? Mm-hmm. And she's in the ER.
Yeah.
She has had a cardiac event. Her heart has stopped. She has been dead for over 7 minutes. They're still trying to resuscitate her, but she has no brain activity either. Mm-hmm. She recalls flying up out of her body. She goes up onto the roof of the hospital and she sees a red bucket up there.
Right.
And then shortly after she's back in her body, she is able to report that. Someone goes and checks, indeed a red bucket on the roof. There's no way for her to have been able to see the red bucket.
Right. It's
unconscious and dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are thousands of these stories.
Right.
And I'm going to link to the site that kind of catalogs all of them.
Yeah.
And I think it is one of the most hopeful, like if you're feeling down, go read that shit. It will make you feel so much better.
Aww.
Especially after you lose a loved one.
Aww.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm going to link the largest study ever conducted, and you can judge for itself. But they estimate 200 to 300 million people around the world have had an NDE.
Yeah.
And that can't be all lies, just statistically speaking. NDEs mostly share similar themes, like a feeling of leaving the body, traveling through a tunnel, seeing a bright light, feeling peaceful and happy, seeing a life review, meeting a deity, or lost loved ones. Mm-hmm. Like almost all of them. Yeah. Now, they won't all contain all of those, but they will definitely contain parts. And what I find fascinating is the stories of NDEs from those who were born blind. Because in the NDE, they can see.
Yeah, that's odd.
Is that not amazing?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, there have been people miraculously healed after their NDE. Like this one woman was dying from 5 cancers or something horrible. Like her whole body was just ate up.
Yeah.
And she died from a massive infection, but she came back, her cancer was gone.
That's
like,
really rad.
magically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. People who have experienced an NDE report no longer fearing death and living with renewed purpose. And I can say that last bit, definitely true of myself. I do not fear death.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to get to the next, evidence of life after death.
Mm-hmm.
So don't go all Joe Rogan on me, but the next bit is DMT.
Yeah, DMT.
The spirit molecule.
Yeah.
It's one of the most powerful psychedelics in the world, if not the most.
Mm-hmm.
People who have taken DMT frequently have an experience that mimics NDEs. More than 50% of DMT users travel to another invisible world or dimension and have the feeling of leaving their body, and they return with a renewed sense of purpose and peace. DMT visions seem to be beyond mere hallucinations when taken in a high enough dose. That's the little asterisk there.
Mm-hmm.
You can see spirits, loved ones, aliens, and strange worlds, gods. It is odd that everyone shares these visions and that they seem to follow a pattern. Because here's the deal. On acid, for example, LSD, you'll have hallucinations and stuff, but they're kind of individual to you.
Yeah.
There's some things that are constant, like the walls look watery, for example.
Yeah.
But largely, auditory hallucinations especially, they're individual to you. There's no pattern there.
Mm-hmm.
But with DMT, there's a definite pattern. It mimics the near-death experience tunnel, jettisoning out of your body, going through a tunnel, and then interacting with otherworldly beings.
Right.
And I know you did DMT.
Yes.
But you didn't do enough. But go ahead and tell your experience because it's fucking hilarious.
I did DMT, and I didn't close my eyes because I'm an idiot, and I didn't know you had to. So everything turned pixelated like it was in Minecraft. And it just was like that for a minute.
Yeah, about 45 seconds.
And I had
to a
my
minute.
glasses on, so I know that wasn't the problem. But it was like I didn't have my glasses
But it was
on.
so funny. So he's laying there, and it's not dark, but it's dim.
Yeah.
And he's like, he said, fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's Minecraft.
Mm-hmm.
Just like that. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, is it going to be this way forever? Because I can't.
Yeah.
And I was like, no.
And then it went away, and that was it. That was my entire experience. Nothing mind-blowing.
You just didn't do
anything.
enough.
I tried very hard.
We'll have to try it again for
Yeah.
you. Because
Yeah.
I think it would be fun. Well, they're not fun, but don't try this. Don't listen to
No,
me.
Don't do drugs.
I mean, you can. It's not my business.
Yeah.
But if you're a child, super fucking dumb.
Don't do it.
It's also interesting to note that DMT is released both when you are born and when you die in your brain, naturally. And, I don't know. I just think it just fucks your brain to where it can't be a filter for your consciousness anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're just seeing all the shit.
I just saw Minecraft.
So the next piece of evidence is past life recall and reincarnation. And I've shared these stories too, so I'm not going to get into super specifics, but it is so common. Children before the age of 6 will recall their past life, past loves, and friends and family and actively miss these people. These memories seem to fade as the child gets older, and that's not to say a grown person can't remember their past life, but it's just simply more common in children.
Mm-hmm.
And these children are from all over the world, all walks of life, some religious, some not. There are thousands upon thousands of these cases with verifiable evidence, such as these children remember names, family members, geographical locations, and secrets that no one else could know. These things can be fact-checked and have been lots of times.
Isn't there that documentary or something?
There's several excellent documentaries. A boy named James who died in World War II because he was shot down in his plane and remembered it in vivid detail.
Right.
And all of it was proven to be true.
That's crazy. Yeah.
And there are many, many of these. And I find them pretty comforting and sweet, if not a little sad. It's not good to remember your past life for a variety of reasons. I don't think we're supposed to. It makes people sad. You miss those people.
Yeah.
And I'm going to link to the studies done on this as well, because you can read all the cases, and there are thousands of them. So interesting. The evidence for reincarnation, like NDEs, is absolutely overwhelming. Millions upon millions of people throughout all of history aren't all lying. Believe people. If science took this more seriously, I just think we'd be closer to an answer, if not have one already.
Yeah.
Another bit of scientific evidence is remote viewing and other areas of parapsychology like ESP. Now, naturally, mainstream science poo-poos all over this, But I'm going to be doing a Patreon episode on remote viewing to teach you how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone can do it.
Cool.
I've led classes on it several times. Merris is actually quite good at it.
Yeah.
And it's pretty easy. It's a human gift we all possess. So what is remote viewing? A control person looks at a picture and then without showing you, asks you to draw or write down what you see when you try to imagine the picture the control person is holding. You can also do this with map coordinates with longitude and latitude. That's a really interesting
like
one.
you had a picture of a mall, and obviously I didn't know what the picture was. And I drew a checkerboard pattern, and that was the pattern on the floor.
Yes, that's how it
Schwa.
works. Schwa.
Yeah.
But all people can do it, and some people are better than others. But if you would like to learn, I will happily teach you. I'm going to do a Patreon episode all on remote viewing.
Cool.
And how to do it yourself.
Yeah.
Why would this be proof of life beyond death? Because your consciousness is viewing things outside of your perception and body, meaning consciousness can and does exist outside the body. The CIA researched this for over 20 years with their Project Stargate. They spent over $20 million on it. Why would they keep doing it for 20 years if it didn't work? I just don't think they would. And just because Project Stargate ended doesn't mean a new one didn't start back up. Mm-hmm. They often close a project and secretly start an identical one. Remote viewing proves that consciousness exists outside of the brain. Now, let's get into quantum physics and consciousness.
Okay.
There are many hypothetical experiments that prove that the simple act of perceiving or viewing something when done by a human can change the outcome of things or change something the human is viewing. It's the age-old question. If a tree falls in the forest and no one is around, does it make a sound? And the answer is no.
Dang, you took all the fun out of that question.
Kinda no.
Okay.
So that there is something strange and special about human consciousness that allows it to affect the material world in ways that we don't fully understand. And this is called the observer effect. And it posits that consciousness is what creates the material world, not the other way around. This makes consciousness non-local, which means it's beyond space and time and physical reality itself. Meaning your brain is only a filter for your consciousness, but you and your consciousness don't reside there. I think that is the fucking coolest shit.
That's cool. That's cool. As long as I'm smoking weed in all these dimensions.
You are.
Sweet.
Maybe you're smoking interdimensional fucking weed.
Oh my God, that's what DMT is.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
So let's move on to another point. And I'm getting weirder as I go, if you hadn't noticed.
Yeah.
UFOs
Mm-hmm.
as proof of life after death. Bear with me.
Yeah.
They move in and out of our reality. They can affect the way we perceive them. If you've never seen a UFO, I can't describe to you the feeling it gives you. It is a big, strange feeling. Like you know that weird light you see in the sky knows you're watching it, and it wants you to watch it. That's the feeling I got.
Show it your butt.
And then I showed it my tits,
Whoa.
and it flew away.
Yeah.
I did not do that, but I should have, and I will next time.
Okay.
Yeah, watch like 20 show up tomorrow. Don't do that.
Show us your titties. Beep boop.
UFOs existing challenge materialism because they seem to defy the laws of physics, but maybe the laws of physics are just not fully understood. That's what I say. All of the UFO talking heads have all been saying that UFO phenomenon is not strictly physical or nuts and bolts. It is dimensional. They're not from other planets. They're from another dimension. They can warp our consciousness. They cause time dilation, and that is where time slows or speeds up, like nonsensically. You can get telepathic messages. Again, I knew that they knew I was looking at them, and they wanted me to. Alien abductions, which seem like out-of-body experiences when they're described. Like going through a tunnel, having a white light, seeing strange beings, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Then there is the hitchhiker effect, where someone has paranormal experiences witnessing a UFO. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And let's talk about Robert Bigelow again.
Yeah, let's go back to him.
That smarmy cunt.
Yeah.
He spent millions studying UFOs and came to the conclusion it was all about consciousness and has now shifted his research to life after death and consciousness specifically. So, here's my theory.
Mm-hmm.
Your brain is
Yeah.
a filter.
Yeah.
that makes it to where you see time in a linear fashion and you're not seeing a bunch of crazy shit that is literally going around us all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Because it would be non-conducive to living. You
Right.
couldn't get anything done if there were a bunch of machine elves like laughing at your asshole while you're trying to take a shower.
I would love that reality.
I'm good. My reality's already spicy. I just don't need it to be like talkie level spicy. I
Right.
can't handle that because we are white people with mild digestive systems.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So when you die, it's just your filter goes away and now you can see everything.
All the weird stuff.
All the weird stuff. And it's all weird stuff. And yes, it does matter if you're a piece of shit on this earth.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mean because you're a man who kissed a man. That is not being a piece of shit. Love's never wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I mean that you're a bigot, that you hurt animals or children, that you hurt women or minorities. If you hurt anybody, don't be a piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Be nice. Because look at it this way. I think when you die, you have to see your deeds in a life review.
Mm-hmm.
But you experience the pain you caused others as them.
Right.
You receive the pain you gave them.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to do that. That's going to suck real bad. So don't do shit things so you don't have to experience that at the very least.
Right.
Yeah. And I think, honestly, you decide where you want to go. I
Yeah.
think your life review, if you're a giant turd piece of crap and you were terrible, then you think you deserve to be punished.
Mm-hmm.
So off to some sort of hell you go to learn your lesson.
Yeah.
I think if you want to come back again, I think you can. You're like, well, I'm not done. I didn't get done what I wanted to do, so you come back.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you want to fade into oblivion, you absolutely can.
Sweet oblivion.
The void.
The
I
void.
think if you want to go to heaven, you can go to heaven.
There I go. Bye.
I want to go to Lillian Heaven, which is a bunch of really hot, like, fantasy elf
A
men.
lot of spaghetti.
A lot of spaghetti and that fucking white chocolate raspberry dark truffle Haagen-Dazs ice cream.
Yeah, that we did a
And it
whole
does
commercial
not-
for it, even though they don't pay
Yeah.
us.
It is not, listen, in heaven, in Lillian Heaven, it doesn't have calories. And in fact, it makes you skinny every time you eat it.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, and all my hot elf boyfriend husbands,
Uh-huh.
they come like the Cinnabon icing.
Wow.
And it does not get you pregnant.
Wow, that's
And there's a lot of
cool.
it.
Wow.
It doesn't have calories either. And they all kiss each other.
Oh my god.
That's my heaven.
Wow.
I don't know why it's a porn, but it is. I'm all bricked up because I'm in my 40s. I don't know what. Listen, y'all, I don't know what's going on. You come to the change of life, you start getting closer to it, and all you want to do is get railed. It's terrible.
Hmm.
Anyone else experience this?
Okay, we're talking about ghosts.
I'm done talking about ghosts now. That's all my evidence.
Okay.
If you're not convinced, I don't know what to tell you. I laid that out real nice like.
You know children listen to this programming.
They shouldn't, and I don't approve. But if you're listening to me wrap that up, just be safe.
You should listen to something else, something wholesome.
We're pretty wholesome other than, like, I'm
What
crass
you
and
just
disgusting.
discussed?
I just want to go to heaven where all my boyfriends kiss.
Right, okay.
I don't think that's bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's nice. That's nice. And I
I
want to eat
love
ice
you.
cream and get kissed by handsome elves.
Yeah.
Anyway, business time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Merris, you can talk about me and why it's important to talk about me right now.
Currently, it is your birthday month,
That's right. When was I born?
September the 3rd.
That's right.
I don't know what time.
I was born at like 8:05 in the morning.
All right.
Yeah, morning baby.
Okay, so send her presents. Where do they send the presents?
I have an Amazon wish list, but listen, you don't have to.
You should.
I mean, if you can't, don't
Do
like
it.
feel
Do
bad.
it
either.
whether you
Oh
can
my
or
God.
not. Just
no,
do
just
it.
please don't. He's awful, and I can't control
Send her
him.
birthday presents.
Listen, a few of you have sent me some things, and I wanted to tell you thank you so much. How sweet, and I love them, and it made my whole universe explode with happiness.
So September the 3rd.
It was like getting kissed by all my handsome elf boyfriends at once.
Yeah.
It was very nice, and I am celebrating the whole month. Why?
Because
Why the fuck not? Life is a red lit nightmare.
Yeah.
Let me.
Yeah.
Okay. It's the only joy I have. We have another podcast, Merris. Would you like to talk about it?
It is Reality with your host, me, Merris, and Lillian over there.
I'm over here.
Yeah. We talk about reality TV shows, and there's no rhyme or reason when I pick them. I just pick one and talk about it.
Yeah. We've been really hitting up on like early 2000s reality.
It's just what I was in the mood for. That's
reality
all.
TV.
Yeah.
I can't talk. Fucking
Yeah.
done. In addition, we have a Patreon, as I mentioned. This, it'll either be this week or next week, depending if Willow can make the time to record her Patreon episode.
Mm-hmm.
But I will be doing how to remote view.
Yeah.
And it's so easy. I promise you can do it. And
You
then
don't even need a remote to do it. I'm just
Merris Mondays
wiggling stuff on the desk.
We are divorced. I don't want to host with you no more. Yeah, you can join that. Willow's doing some murdery thing. And then I'm still working on a Gypsy Rose Blanchard episode, but it's hard because I hate her and I hate everything about the case. But that will be this month as well. And I want to tell you the new theme for Cruelty. The Notorious 90s.
Oh, it's going to be the B.I.G., but it's not.
No, we've already covered him.
Oh.
Yeah, and Tupac.
Okay.
But we'll be covering cases like O.J. Simpson, the Menendez brothers, the real famous cases of the 90s.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And so please join us for that, because it's going to, I don't know, it's a good month. I like the 90s nostalgia, because I was a 90s kid, and I think it was a good time.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed the night. The fashion was really there. The music was super good. And I sound 800 years old.
Oh.
But I'm not wrong. I defy you to tell me I'm not wrong. Anyway, even country music wasn't so bad in the 90s.
Yeah, we're just sounding real old here.
Good! Whippersnappers, get off my lawn.
Yeah.
You don't want to be on my lawn anyway. It's too high because we haven't cut it because we're lazy.
Oh, that's right. I should
Yeah.
know that.
But if all you can do to support this podcast is listen, please know that I do it for you, and I thank you very much for tuning in. It means the world to me. You don't even know. And if you're on YouTube, please like, subscribe, hit the little notification bell, leave a comment, says Lillian suck my dick. I don't care. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Even your hate fuels me.
Yeah.
And it just gets more views. So please.
Do it. Hate me harder.
Hate me harder, yes. Yeah. It just makes me horny. Ugh.
Yeah.
Does it? No.
No.
But everything does. So anyway, I love you guys, and now I'm going to go.
Bye.
Goodbye. Us on your social media platform of choice. Linktree/Cruelty has all the links. Check out our Patreon for exclusive episodes, merch, ad-free episodes, live ghost hunts, and much more. Please be sure to subscribe. New episodes are uploaded weekly. Thank you so much. See you next time. Music and production by Willie B.